Hello, I am Shireen Hashim, the CEO and founder of the award-winning Fashion Community Week in San Francisco. Our organization offers opportunities such as helping with business development and launching for emerging fashion businesses. We have successfully represented fashion brands from 40 countries that includes 6 continents. Today, you are viewing Fashion Community Speak, where we interview global fashion industry tycoons who join us to discuss current affairs, future of the fashion industry, and of course, their expert advice. Today, our guest is Princess Bako Rambini, descendant from a Malagasy princely family who were deeply involved with high-end couture craft. Her family had a successful tailor workshop making bespoke uniforms for officers of the French army for over 30 years. Bako is the founder of Fashion Cross-Functional, a platform to help emerging fashion designers to grow their business with a track record. She's also the author of the book Fashion Business Plan, which provides a step-by-step method to help fashion designers to write their own business plan. Bako has been a lecturer for strategy and fashion business planning at Esmod Paris, which is a leading fashion school worldwide. According to Forbes, she is the princess with fairy fingers. Let us welcome Bako Rambini. Bonsoir, Bako. Thank you for being here with us today. I know it is late in Paris, but we highly appreciate your presence with us today. How are you?
Bonsoir, Shireen. Thank you so much for having me here. Oh, it's not that late. Look, it's still bright.
I know. Teasing us with the background there.
Yes, I couldn't help. Sorry. But yeah, I'm so happy to be here. Thank you for welcoming me. And welcome to Paris.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, let us get started. Walk us through your professional journey briefly and how you came to the conclusion to create Fashion Cross-Functional and also writing your book, The Fashion Business Plan.
So as you said before, my family was deeply involved in couture craftsmanship in Madagascar. So for over 30 years, they had a successful tailor workshop making those bespoke uniforms for officers of the French army. But the family company went bankrupt because they didn't have the business skills to survive in this world. So I was pushed to pursue a career very far away from couture. And I worked in audit and finance. I helped companies implement their strategies and improve their processes. But my true passion was always in couture. And it called me back. And I took intensive classes in fashion design, pattern making, embroidery in parallel of my corporate work. I also volunteered with emerging fashion designers. And later on, I also worked for premium retail fashion brands. So after collaborating with emerging fashion designers and after thoroughly researching the market, I found that lots of the designers were either creatively gifted but a bit lost as business people, or some of the fashion business owners were successful business people originally who fancied doing something cool for once, but who totally lack the je ne sais quoi that makes a brand attractive. So by creating a fashion cross-functional, in short, we say fashion FXF, by the way, I wanted to help both of those profiles grow their business and bridge the gap between creativity and business. So seeing all the missing information that was not available on the market, I wrote the Fashion Business Plan that provides a simple step-by-step method to help fashion designers write their own business plan. So it walks you through all those steps. And after I wrote the book, I also lectured at Esmod Paris. And today I offer 3 to 6 months coaching sessions where I give fashion business owners tailored strategies and tools to make consistent revenues and build a profitable brand. So that's about it.
Wonderful. Since you and I have collaborated on so many projects. I can vouch for your work because we had also had shared some fashion designers who had just given 5 thumbs up for your work and all the passion that goes through everything that you do to help them. So bravo.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. So tell me, what specific results and value can a fashion brand achieve by taking your workshops and attending your coaching program? Can you share maybe 3 top examples?
Okay, so I never think it would be such a big deal for designers, but one of the things they really appreciate is the fact that they work with someone who understands where they come from. I guess the fact that I come from a couture craftsman family and know how to design and make clothes makes it easy to bond over that and truly understand their struggle. And on top of that, I give them strategies and step-by-step processes to help them do their work. So this proves to be quite handy for them, since usually they really start with those concepts and they don't know how to deal with it, how to make it, and how to do it. So I come with those step-by-step processes for many things in their business. For example, I help them create brand DNA or an Instagram strategy or a strategy to help them improve their customer experience inside their boutique if they have a brick and mortar, and so on. So they have this step-by-step process, they adapt it to their own case, and we fine-tune it during our sessions until they're satisfied. Designers usually come to me because they keep working hard, but they don't see, or they see very low results. So after they apply the strategies, I share them with them and they see amazing results. So for example, I worked with the brand called Violet Fish, which is an Australian fashion brand, a bohemian brand. And they achieved a plus 90% increase in online sales after we worked on their Instagram branding DNA.
Wonderful.
I've also helped a German brand build its customer loyalty. And we got a plus 10% sales increase after only 3 months working on their CRM with one of their boutique.
Wow.
And even if you only buy the books, you can still get results if you do it right, of course. And if you apply what's in there. And I saw good results as well from Goria, a Canadian fashion brand, and they got featured in Vogue UK and Vanity Fair UK after doing the exercise in chapter 1 of my fashion business plan book. So I'm happy because it seems to work. And
well, you're literally global, sitting in Paris, hitting the world of Australia, North America, Europe. So that's quite wonderful. And wow, I'm quite speechless at the moment.
Oh, come on. It's okay.
Well, I wanted to now direct our question into talking about how you have worked in several sectors of the French fashion industry while residing in the fashion capital, of course, for over a decade. Thus, you have experienced the industry closely. With that said, we all know that the French fashion industry has more of a traditional approach when it comes to conducting business. Now, do you feel this is going to change rapidly due to the current pandemic, and that the French fashion marketplace will reach up to speed and adjust quickly, like some of the booming regions for fashion, such as Dubai, LA, Shanghai?
I think it will still take some time, but things are changing. Of course, like anywhere, digitization is really booming right now because we have no choice, or we do have choice. But at least on this market today, they understand that the digital needs to support the brick and mortar today. So this is a fact. They digitize more. Some the brands that have done it before confinement and COVID-19, of course, have an advantage, but it's really increasing right now. And they're making also more use of platforms such as Le New Black, which is the equivalent of Jour, Your Jour. So it's they use it more, and then again, people are very cautious today, right, because it's still an uncertain moment. They're still hesitating and trying to wait until they're really sure what to do. So it's still a time of uncertainty, but for sure we've seen that brands digitize more. One other things that we see as well is even more conscious fashion, because some brands, I was really surprised, because so these are not emerging brands, but it's a trend. One of the biggest French brand that sells oh, I'm sorry, I forgot the word, but one of the biggest fashion brands has relocated the production here in France just for jeans, but they've done it. So it's for low-priced items. So it was really surprising news, but they've done it. So they are testing new models. They are thinking about pricing as well. Maybe how to deal with those fashion sales. Do we still need to keep it? So lots of things are being questioned today, and digitization is booming, of course, but maybe not at the same rate as in other fashion locations.
Right. Well, I guess one of the elements you just mentioned, sustainability, I think bringing in the production into the country, of course, not only creates jobs, but it's also helping with managing carbon footprint. So once you remember the name of the brand, let us know whom they are, because we would like to support as well. Well, while we're on the topic of digitization, you are clearly one of those businesses that are quite advanced in the industry. A good example, of course, is digitization of your platform from the beginning to offer maximum global reach. Now, what do you think about the current digitization taking place in the world of runway shows? As we have been living through that all of this month, we have heard from Sarah Moore, the chief critic of Vogue. Now we want to hear from you. Do you think virtual runway shows are effective, and is it here to stay?
I think it's a very good alternative for now. And if we want to keep it as a model for future runway shows, once we can make new physical fashion shows again, I think we can exploit it even better. Maybe one day we will be able to buy pieces directly by clicking on the picture, live while it's running live. That could be something that's interesting. And I think it's a good complement to the physical fashion shows. And it makes the fashion show even more exclusive. It's, I think each platform can bring something to bring an angle that's interesting to the entire story and to the entire brand. So I think we should explore it as another way to tell the story of the brand.
Sure. In fact, we're also going virtual after having 10th edition of runway shows, and this is going to be our first time this September as well. And what the feature you have mentioned, where people can buy hot off the runway, we do that on our physical shows, and right now we're going to do that from our virtual shows already. So right now we are working through that. So I'm glad that you are talking about it, because it makes me realize that it is more so important that these type of features must be available. Now, my final question to you is about, you know, timing. Now, according to Financial Times, in the fashion industry, timing is everything. Due to the pandemic this year, many brands had to pivot quickly to survive. Can you offer some expert tips for building or maintaining a profitable fashion business in challenging times like this? You can just share three briefly.
So I'm going to share something that three of the tips that I've shared to my community.
Okay.
And to the designers who've been working with me during this pandemic. So I've told them to stay closer to their customers, communicate, and keep bonding. Because one of the assets that we have, that brands, fashion brands have, is their customer base. You know,
Of course.
whatever happens, pandemic or no pandemic, we need to keep that bond real. And I think lots of the designers I know were so in shock due to the confinement and COVID-19, that they didn't know how to react, so they didn't show up to the customers, and they sort of lost the bond. And I think it's very important to stay there, to be also authentic, and to show that you're going through these times with them, that it's to humanize the brand as well, and to keep telling your story in spite of the time being, adapt it. People will understand that. People will value that. They like people today. They like authenticity. They like knowing more about the behind the scenes and what's happening. So I think they will value it a lot. So don't cut the communication. Keep bonding with your customers. The other thing that's very important that I told the designer is to do with what they have today, not with what they had yesterday or what they will have tomorrow, but with what they have now. So we've done an exercise with them to watch around and look what they have, and that's basically what they have to move on. You know,
absolutely.
Because lots of them were sitting there and whining about what used to be here, you know. So, I used to have a shop, and I used to do a fashion show, and you know, it doesn't help, you know. So I know it takes time to grieve, but at some point you need to work with what you have right now. It's your project runway moment, you know. So we need to make it work, you know. So I think it's a very good skill that they need to get now, to learn to work with what they have now. And the third thing that I also advise the designers to do is to reassure their customers as for all the sanitary protocol that they have in their brand. If they still keep working, so show that you have a mask, show that you respect all the rules, and that also if you have a brick and mortar, show them that you have a 4 square meter place for each customer, and that you respect all those constraints.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. I think that's very important. Bako, thank you so much for your great tips, and it was such a pleasure having you on our interview series today. Thank you so much for sharing such valuable insights with us. And I don't know if you remember, last year at this time, we were together in Paris.
Oh my God, yes.
I'm missing our times together. But anyhow, I would hope that this pandemic ends soon and we can see each other again and work on
I love that. Well, thank you so much. It was such a pleasure. Thank you.
Of course. The pleasure is all ours. Now, I would also like to thank our audience for tuning in and watching our Fashion Community Speak interview series today. If you'd like to learn more about Bako Rambini and interested to join her workshops and expert coaching, simply visit fashioncrossfunctional.com. Tune in every week, same time, on our Fashion Community Week IGTV to watch live interviews with fashion industry experts. All interviews are also available on our platforms such as Facebook, YouTube, LinkedIn, and Twitter. We look forward to seeing you next week. And thank you, Bako, again for being with us today. Have a wonderful rest of the evening. Bye-bye.
Bye.